Okay. A very good morning. Let's start the session for today. Welcome to Abort Masters, Brother Joe, Hualien Dharma team, brothers and sisters around the globe, to Saturday Hualien Dharma Talk. Today, I would like to share Master Cheng Yan's words of wisdom accepted by Sister Sing Ching on embracing the world with compassion, spreading love in all directions. 60 years of Suji's journey have passed, cultivating affinities and hope for generations. To embrace all with open hearts, carry out the Jingsi Dharma lineage diligently. Let go of attachments, uphold compassion. The great love's energy can spread in the 10 directions. The path of the Suji school is connected to the human awakened nature fulfilled, whilst steadfast and unwavering. Now, let's send our sincere prayers to the 10 directions. May the Saha land be free from disaster and peace prevails in the world. Let's sing the prayer song with sincere piousness. May all minds be purified. May there be peace in the community. May there be no disaster in this world. Together, we pray for universal love and blessing. With loving respect, gratitude, and confidence, let's wish every person in our lives a healthy body and enlightened mind and total fulfillment in universal love. Now, Let's expand this consciousness to include every person in the world, every being in the universe. Let our unified love make this wonderful world even better. Let's all immerse ourselves in the joyful embrace of universal love. Okay, before we hear the wonderful sharing review of Wondrous Lotus Sutra, let's invite our masters to lead us in paying homage to Triple Gems. Let's pay our respects for these teachings and explanations to the Buddha and Master Ching Yen by making 3 sincere bows. Please rise, palms together. First bow, second bow, third bow, and a bow to our beloved masters who can join us today. Okay, we have 3 sharers today, Brother Joe, Sister Sing Chin, Brother Johan. Before we proceed with the sharing, Sister Suching will give us the summary of last week's sharing. Over to Sister Suching. Cảm ơn nhé.
Cảm ơn, Sister Wai. Just a second. I will bring out the sharing. Oh dear. It doesn't show. I found it. Okay. So last week's speaker one was Brother Joe. Brother Joe speaks of wisdom from the ancient scroll. He guides us to a path that heals the soul. The meanings change for every stage we might now face, reflecting truths within this vast and quiet sacred space. We see the world is empty and always in flux, to find the peace beyond the heavy daily crux. Some hearts are trapped within the stagnant frozen frame. They suffer long without a spark or even a name. But great compassion turns the tide to take a stand, to reach a warm and helping, gentle, steady hand. We must adapt the ship to fit each person's plea, to set the weary, tired, aching spirit truly free. Observe the present moment with a very clear sight, to bring the heavy shadows back into the light. Master leaves a way for us to find the shore where peace and kindness reign forever and much more. Speaker 2 is Brother David, and there are 4 questions. Question 1. Does guarding the mind mean the 6th sense today, to keep our focus sharp and never go far astray? How can we stay awake within the dark of night to keep our inner vision very clear and shining bright? Brother David says the 6th consciousness must stay very strong to judge what is right and what is truly wrong. We use the Buddha Dharma as a very sturdy shield to guard the precious harvest in the mental fertile field. Okay, question 2 is looking deep within the 6th or 7th part to find the quiet space inside a very heavy heart. We can reach the 9th where ancient wisdom might reside and push the heavy ego and noisy thoughts aside. Give me a second on this one. The answer is reflections always start within the 6th and busy mind, where better ways to live are what we hope to find. The numbering of souls is not the main and vital goal, but purifying thoughts to make the spirit bright and whole. Question 3, is the great mind king the same as the 9 indeed, to plant within our nature a very noble seed? Are the 8th princes now returning to the source of light to make the inner garden very beautiful and purely white? The answer is the 8th warehouse stores the seeds of everything we do, whether they are old or very fresh and new. Brother David tells us that the numbers do not weigh as much as we act and live each passing day. Finally, question 4, if someone reaches peace and finds the quiet state, Will karma still arrive and open up the heavy gate? Must they receive the debts of many lives lived long ago while watching all the seeds of past actions start to grow? Brother David said, the Buddha faced his past with a very calm view, accepting every debt that was finally and truly due. He did not suffer from the sickness or the sharpest pain while standing in the middle of the heavy coming rain. Okay, and finally, speaker 3, Brother Lee, Brother Lee Kok Yuan from Malaysia. Brother Kok Yuan joined the path through the recycling yard. He worked with the seniors while standing on guard. He saw the great love in every humble deed to plant within the world a very kind seed. In Taiwan, he learned from the elders so wise to look at the world with new and soft eyes. With gratitude and heart, he met each heavy trial and greeted every person with a warm and steady smile. The glass was sorted well by its own bright hue, reflecting a spirit that is honest and true. They fixed the hospital beds for those in deep need to help the weary souls with a very fast speed. In Hualien, he walked where the masters would lead, to the Dharma and the spirit to feed. To water the Dharma and the spirit to feed. His character grows with a faith that is quite deep, promise to the world that he will always now keep. Okay, and thank you for listening. I will stop share and hand over to Sister Moon to introduce our next speaker. Over to you, Sister Moon.
Yes, thank you again, Sister Suching, for another beautifully worded summary of last week's session. I must say that the questions asked last week was rather deep, but what you write summarize that the numbers are not important, but it is more important how we act and live each passing day. I think this line is really so awesome. And that is actually basically what we need to know to guide us, in our life's journey, right? Yeah, thank you so much, Sister Suchi. Good morning, brothers and sisters, and a warm welcome to all. It's always a pleasure to have Brother Joe to start our session with his sharing of the Sutra of Infinite Meaning, and perhaps to share a little bit of news from Hualien. Morning, Brother Joe. Welcome to this morning's session.
Thank you, Sister Moon, and good morning, everybody. Good morning. We're once again gathered here to be diligent and also finding and learning and appreciating each other's time and appreciating each other's existence by being with each other, by by seeing and recognizing the effect that each other has on our lives. I think just going through the sharings from last week, we could definitely feel that the sharers share their life experiences as well as what they feel, what they understand to the others. And the listeners actually take that in and also were able to grow as a result of that. And I think this is something that this is a very a good cycle where we are encouraged to be able to move forward together. And I think this is why we're gathered every week, trying to move forward together. So a little bit about what's happening right now. We are still in Taipei. As I mentioned last week, it is my hope that we would have been back already. And indeed, I think it was 2 days ago. I was hoping that we would be back on Thursday. And the reason being that there's a typhoon coming. And in fact, it's already here. The typhoon is already here. And it is my hope that we could get home before the typhoon hits, before any variables, including traffic, including, there are certain paths where the highway might not be so good, might not be the best way to travel. The roadway might not be might not be the best way to get home. And so, obviously, for my very selfish thoughts, I think it should be important that we get home and to a shelter that we are very accustomed to. And obviously, Master has different ideas. So a couple of days ago, we started this campaign. Monday, Tuesday, we started to try to convince everybody, and we were all in on it. Everybody were thinking it's better to go home sooner rather than later. We want to be in Hualien when the typhoon hits, so that they will be minimizing all the potential effects, including whatever the effect might be. And so Master did not waver. Master continued and stood her ground and refused to move. And obviously, we have to we continue, right? We just stayed, and that's where we are right now. And you can see that Master has been very happy. Master is very, very happy in that by staying here in Taipei. And she wanted to make sure that all the operations, all the disaster response operations are in place, are doing okay. And I think this is the one thing that I feel is very important, is that Master has this, she just sees things that's different from us, right? So I could come up with 10 reasons why it's probably best that we don't stay in Taipei, but Master sees things, and she probably can't tell you why, or even if she tells you why, you choose to not believe. That's usually the case. And so, but one very good news that I want to share with everybody, in fact, it's many, many good news, is that Master's health, Master's spirit is very high. There's just, you don't see her, at least I definitely see, as a couple of weeks ago when we started, on this trip, I said that it is so different. Master's very, very different from when she was in Hualien. And this is still the case. And she's very highly spirited, she's got a lot of ideas. And I think this is good. I know, and being in Taipei definitely drives, her energy forward. And this is very good. So, in other words, I don't know when we're going home. I'm hoping on Monday. But once again, that's just what I think. And at this point, it really doesn't matter what I think. It matters what Master thinks. So I'm hoping on Monday. We're planning for Monday's return. But if we don't, then we don't. There is no pressing events that's going to take place in Hualien. Everything could be done, here. So it's all right. Okay, so I don't know where I will be next week. I'm hoping it's going to be in Hualien, but if I'm in Taipei next week, so be it. I'm sure it will be just as fine, right? It will just be as good. All right, so that's the update. And once again, because we're still here in Taipei, I will have to leave a little bit early, so to attend to what's coming up next. And today is a typhoon day. Typhoon officially made contact about last night. So supposedly there should be a lot of rain, a lot of wind, but and it's good right now that we're not seeing a lot of rain. Hopefully, knock on wood, that this is continue. And many people think this is because Master is here in Taipei. Well, I can't disagree to that, and there is definitely track record where Master right here, and we're hearing, from all different places that supposedly the typhoon hits, and supposedly the rain is supposed to come, and there's still rain, but just not in the populous areas, which is good. So we'll see. We'll see many things. We'll see when we're actually going home. Okay, but that's the least of the concerns because typhoon is coming. Typhoon is already here, so I think the safety of everybody is the major concern right now. Okay, so let's move on to the Sutra of Infinite Meanings. It would seem like I'm actually always saying the same things. And I think it's because it's always important to remember what was said before rather than just building on new things. And not only that, but I think it's important that we, put some time and effort into sort of structuring up, shoring up and structuring up our thinking, our belief, our concepts. It's very important to build up this concept of what does the sutra say and what is it trying to achieve. I think that is very important because it's almost like your career goal. You need to have a goal. For example, you want to be successful. What is successful, right? Having a family, having a good, a good family relationship, and having a good, children, and healthy, and all of this, right? And making your life worthwhile. These are all very important goals. And the sutra, understanding the sutra is the same thing. We should have a very structured idea about what does the sutra say or what its purpose is. And once you have that, you will be able to continue on to the next phase, which is, well, what does it say? And what is it trying to say? What is it trying to do? And do we get that? Can we find the evidence to support that? So that's why I always go back to the groundworks. Instead of just moving on forward to the next topic, I want to make sure that we are always shoring up, structuring, supporting this structure on what this actually means. Okay. All right. So for me, Sutra of Infinite Meanings, the key point begins in preaching. Even though there's a lot of content, that happens in the first chapter, virtues. And I think it's also very important. I think the virtues did not have Buddha talking. But even though the Buddha did not talk in the first chapter, right? There's no speaking role for the Buddha. But you could see from the virtues that the people that's translating this text, they're putting in things that will guide us in a certain way. And let me give you an example. So in virtues, the two biggest parts. So you can, this is how I like to do things, right? I like to do it in a structural way. If you go back to the virtues, the first big part in the first chapter talks about the time, the place, the people, and all of the setting, right? So that's important. That's the first important part, right? Where, the time, the who. And within the who, there is a big group of Bodhisattva and Mahasattva. And there is a big section about Bodhisattva, Mahasattva. Okay, so let me rephrase this. Okay, so in the first chapter, you can divide it into three parts. One is the setting. That's the setting, the time, the place, and who is there. But the second big part, it's actually not a separate part, but it's within the who. It's a big part in chapter 1. And it's talking about who the Bodhisattva Mahasattvas are. There's a huge part, including Master's favorite phrase, the favorite portion, the favorite segments in the sutra. That's in this chapter. That's part of the description of the Bodhisattva Mahasattva. That's the second biggest part in virtues. The third biggest part is the praising of the Buddha. So the virtues chapter can be divided into three parts. One is the place, the time, the settings, etc. Two is the description of the people, specifically Bodhisattva Mahasattvas, who they are, what they did, and their virtues. The third part is the virtue of the Buddha. That's chapter 1. So if you think about this, what is supposed to happen usually in chapter 1? Supposed to happen is you're going to have the setting, the place, the time, the who, and all of that. And you're supposed to have the praises for the Buddha. You have that. So you have the settings, done. You have the praises for the Buddha, done. But there's another part. That's the praises, the virtues of Bodhisattva Mahasattva that was in there, that was very obvious. There's a huge part in chapter 1 that talks about Bodhisattva Mahasattva. And the Buddha hasn't started speaking yet. So it leads me to believe that the people that came up, that remembered or restructured Buddha's teaching into sutras, they knew that this particular sutra is about Bodhisattva Mahasattva. It's about the Bodhisattva path. Therefore, they put a lot of content into chapter 1 to guide people when they're reading this, to guide people to understand that these are important, that these people are important. So let me try to rephrase this again. The sutras were all recited by Ananda and the group of the Sangha, right? After the Buddha's passing, they get together and they began to, recite from memory of Ananda. And then they will try to correct things, right? Oh, Ananda, I was there at the time, and I think what the Buddha meant was this. So they have a gathering of the very close disciples, and they hashed out, they basically discussed what did the Buddha say, right? So that goes into the complete sutra. So the sutra itself are the memories of the people that were there when they listen and they recollect from their memory together in a conference, and they begin to talk about this, right? That's the whole sutra. But the actual talking happens from the Buddha. The actual talking happens in chapter 2 and 3. So that means chapter 1 was actually pretty much all came from the people that converge and talk about what did the Buddha say, right? It's almost like chapter 1 is the preface. Chapter 1 is, the word from the editor. Okay, so I hope that I'm getting to everybody, right? Chapter 2 and 3 are the words of the Buddha. But chapter 1, Buddha hasn't said anything yet. So it's the word from the editor, where the editor is saying, well, before we get into the Buddha's preaching, let me tell you about who's around. Let me tell you about where we are. Let me tell you about what time it is, okay? So that's usually the case, right? You have the editor's words in the beginning, and then you have the Buddha's words coming, in second and third. And that makes sense. That's okay. So now let's look at the editor's words. The editor's words come in 3 parts in virtues, right? 3 parts. 1 is the setting, and the third is the praise for the Buddha, which always happens in the editor's words. However, in this sutra, in the editor's words, the third part is very important. It's not just the praise of the Buddha, but there's also the praise of the Bodhisattva Mahasattva. Why? Because the editors, they knew that the Buddha is going to be talking about these people, that the Buddha is going to be talking and teaching precisely about the path, the Bodhisattva path. Therefore, before we get into this path, before we get into the core material, the editors are preparing us by putting the contents in chapter 1, in the editor's words, the importance and the virtues of these people. They are getting us ready, preparing us so that we can be moving into chapter 2 and 3, understanding that these people are important, that this is something that's important. Okay, so I just wanted to take some time out to sort of get to this. Okay, so that we could all understand that I think that the translators, the people that put together the sutras, they definitely knew, because this happens hundreds of years after the Buddha's passing. They already listened to the completion of all, right? Of all the Buddha's texts. They have heard all the Buddha's teaching, and they're putting the sutra together. And then they knew eventually the Sutra of Infinite Meanings and the Lotus Sutra is going to be talking about the Bodhisattva path. So in order to get us primed and ready for this, in the virtues chapter, the editors put in more content about the Bodhisattva Mahasattvas. And you can go back. You will see that there's a big section in virtues just about the Bodhisattva Mahasattvas. All right, so I spent a lot of time about this already. Let's move on. So in preachings, I break it down into sections, right? According to the book, I break it down into sections because I think that it's important that we understand the progression, right? So this is a conversation between the student and the teacher. And so the student began asking the question. So obviously, the teaching comes from the teacher. The teaching comes from the teacher, but there is no teaching unless there are questions. So the question is this: if we want to become the Buddha, what should we do? That's a very normal question. That's section 1. If we, the Bodhisattva Mahasattvas, want to become the Buddha, want to reach Buddhahood, what should we do? That's section 1. Section 2 is when the Buddha answers. And the answer is, well, very good. The name of the teaching is called Infinite Meanings, and you should begin by observing all things. And when you observe, you will see everything is changing. It's all impermanent. However, you will see that most people, even though they understand this, they're trapped. Even though we understand this, we're trapped. We're thinking we understand it, but we don't. And we're trapped thinking that we do, but we don't. So there's a lot of suffering that happens. And because of that, when you observe the impermanence and you observe the suffering, there's a sympathy that comes from within you that begins to want to do something, right? This is a turning point. It gives rise to sympathy. It gives rise to be willing to want to do something. This is very important. It's something that comes from within you. And I wanted to focus on this, the turning point, because in Buddhism, it is all about your own intention. Okay. And that intention has to be pure. That intention has to be clean. So it's not like I want to get some profits out of it. That's why I want to do this. Buddhism talks about that thought, that initial thought, initial vow, initial thinking. And Buddha spent a lot of time trying to cleanse, trying to purify so that our intention becomes pure, so that we are not driving ourselves due to greed, due to ignorance, or due to anger. You can think of this way, right? So if I do certain things and I get a profit, and this profit could be fame, could be money, could be many different things, that's my driving force, then that's not pure. If I am doing this out of spite, that's not pure. If I'm doing this out of ignorance because I think this could make me, big and better, that's not pure. What the Buddha was trying to do is to get our minds and thoughts to the simplest form. And one of the key simple form is this very much innate sympathy that we have for others. We come to this world with it. It's just covered up. So when we see people in pain, we feel their pain. When we see people in suffering, we feel their suffering. And that's something that's in us. You don't need to be taught. You just know it. I remember when I was very young. And I remember that, when you see other people, when I see other kids being yelled at or being punished by their parents, I feel sympathy for them, even though I know they did something wrong. I know they're in the wrong, and I know that they should be punished. But when you see them hurting, suffering, you feel for them. Okay, so that's the very simplest form where it drives you to want to approach that person and say, are you all right? And that's something that's within us. It's pure. There's no strings attached to it. So I think what the Buddha was trying to say is we have to get down to this very pure, innate response when we see this suffering. And that's very important. Okay, so that's what the driving force is, right? You see the people suffering and you can't stand, or you have to do something about it. That's when we have this sympathy and compassion, and we want to do something about their suffering. So the Bodhisattva wants to take action, but what action? Buddha says, observe again, but this time with a different intention. So before it was innate. It just comes out like hunger. It just comes out after many hours, you become hungry. You see people hurting, you have this sympathy, you have this compassion. However, the very next time you have this, you're going to observe, see what you can do, see what you can do to help with a different intention. The intention is selflessly want to help them. So there's still no ignorance, no anger, no greed involved. It's all just about, can I do something about this? Can I do something to help them? Okay. So section 3, relieving suffering. So when you have this and when you're observing, you begin to think, I want to do something about this. I want to do something to help them. And that's wonderful, right? So because of this, you are driven to want to know more about the person. You want to, so Master is like this. Master saw the suffering. She wanted to figure out, why is there suffering? That's when Master figured out the suffering, the illness, the disease, the sickness, and the poverty come hand in hand. That comes from observing, comes from doing the research, right? You see the people are suffering because of stomach ache. You observe, you go into the lab, you figure out what virus or what bacteria is causing this. You observe, you penetrate all these different knowledges because there is a drive in you. It's not about money making. It's not about fame. It's about you want to solve the problem. And that's what we're talking about. You know, that's what this driving force is talking about. It's trying to get to that. Once your intention is pure, without all the poisons, that's when you're able to do Buddha's work. That's when you're able to do the right thing. And I think the Sutra of Infinite Meaning is talking about this. It all comes down to this pure intention. Then all the doors in front of you are open for you. You could choose any door you want. You could go into the field of charity, medicine, education, and humanistic culture. You can do anything you want as long as your intention is pure. That's why there's infinite Dharma doors in front of you. Because as long as your intention is pure, it comes from that one seed. What is that one seed? Pure intention. If you can have this pure intention, then you will be able to, whatever door you take, you will be able to do the right thing. That's what the Buddha was trying to explain. That it's not talking about what you do, it's talking about how to get to this intention that it's in its purest form without contamination, without affliction, without all the things to affect it. No, that's the key. All right. So the time is up. I apologize that I just took too long in the beginning, but so I hope that today there's, we sort of took some time to talk about the structure of the sutra, which if you are, interested, you could just take a look and you can definitely see that there is a very obvious different structures. And you see that hopefully that we begin to sort of all agree that is important because that there are some important parts that have to be stressed. And that goes into chapter 1. And this was done by the editor, not the talker, not the speaker, but the editors that actually put in the effort to let you know something important is coming up. And it's about these bodhisattva and mahasattvas. So they put in a lot of effort focusing on these people so that when you later on talk about them, you get to understand them. All right. So that's the sharing for today. And I thank you for all. Hopefully next week I'll be in Hualien. But if not, that's fine too. All right. Thank you and have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you so much, Brother Joe. I mean, I think you know this morning's guide is really awesome. We all are in Tzu Chi because of this one pure thought that we have, I believe, all of us. And this one lesson today is really to remind us to keep, to keep this pure thought in us all the time. There's a tendency to stray all the time because there's so much distractions. But if we read our Sutra of Infinite Meaning, if we discuss them, we get back into the path easily, and we guide each other. Thank you so much, Brother Joe, for this morning's session. And as we say, Master knows best. So, Brother Joe, you don't need to worry. We wish you here, the team in Taipei, a safe and warm journey back when the typhoon is over. Before we leave, could we perhaps take a group photo together with Brother Joe before he leaves? Can I ask all brothers and sisters to switch on your video?
Yeah. 1, 2, 3. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Joe. All the best to you. Yeah. Well, our next presenter is Sister Sing Qing from Singapore, and she's going to share with us on the inaugural WVO International Vegan Festival in Singapore. It's very amazing to me because Singapore Tzu Chi is so big on vegetarianism. They are so effective in promoting vegetarianism. They have such a good structure built up to interest people in joining the vegetarian movement, and they are now moving into the next step, I believe. Where from just simply not consuming animal meat, we are now going towards veganism, which is like maybe we should not use, or we are more mindful about using animal products as well, right? Let us welcome Sister Xing Jing to enlighten us on how this movement is progressing. Morning, Sister Xing Jing.
Hi, good morning.
Over to you, yeah.
Good morning, everybody. Hi, I'm Xing Qing from Singapore. And so it's our monthly veg promo sharing again. And just like to share a new way to promote veganism lah. Yeah, that a few of us have been engaging with. And so I got to know World Vegan Organization 2 years ago when I attended the Batam Vegan Festival. Yeah, so from there, we went on to Jakarta and learned from the Indonesia team about how they managed to organize such successful and such huge vegan festival that attracted so many people. Most of the people who come for their vegan festivals are not vegans or vegetarians. Okay, so it's a very mainstream thing over there. And later I'd like to share a bit more. So after learning from all these wonderful, amazing pioneers lah, in the vegan movement, we also brought this whole concept into Singapore. Yeah, and then I also hope that in the future in KL and other parts of Malaysia, you can see more of these vegan festivals happening. Yeah, so okay, so let me just start off by showing you all a video about the International Vegan Festival in 2024 that was held at Jakarta. So it's actually one of the big malls in Jakarta. If you've been there, it's the Taman Anggrek, and it was held for 5 days. Okay, so it's like kind of a very busy and bustling place where everyone can just like, who come to the shopping center can just walk in, enjoy the talks, the performances, and also the great food lah. So they had actually 60 over vendors, and per day they attracted about 20,000 people joining the festival. Yeah, so just like to share the video.
Festival kuliner vegan Nusantara yang terbesar dan terbanyak di seluruh dunia. Sampai 200 menu kuliner vegan tetapi berbasis Nusantara.
Acara ini tentunya akan memberikan suatu pengetahuan edukasi kepada masyarakat berkaitan dengan gaya hidup sehat.
Kita semua menyadari pentingnya menjaga kesehatan. Bukan hanya kesehatan fisik, tapi juga kesehatan mental dan juga kesehatan sosial. Teman-teman vegan itu bagus banget dan heboh banget. Tadi lihat di beberapa gerai makanan itu sampai ada antrian yang begitu luar biasa.
Terus dengan harganya juga yang lumayan ya, tidak terlalu mahal.
So many vegan people, so many big community.
Parade dan pameran kuliner vegan Nusantara yang pertama dan terbesar yang akan mencatatkan rekor muri
dengan sajian menu terbanyak dianugerahkan kepada Vegan Society of Indonesia.
Boleh kita berikan tepuk tangan yang meriah untuk Vegan Festival. We can live free. We do what we want and we live in the
Vegan Festival is good to know. Spread awareness about vegan food.
We can own it. We do what we want and we live in the moment.
Applaud the Vegan Festival Jakarta for doing this, and I'm very happy to be here.
Vegan Festival Anggrek Mall, sikat semuanya. We can live free, we can live now. Yeah, nothing's gonna hold us down. We are the fighters, the dreamers, the ones who believe. Oh, we can live free, we can live now. Yeah, nothing's gonna hold us down. We are the fighters, the dreamers, the ones who believe. Oh, we can live free. We can live free.
Sukses terus Vegan Festival!
Terima kasih Vegan Festival.
Okay, yes, yeah. So this was the one that we attended in Jakarta because we met the president, Dr. Susianto, of WBO in Batam, and he was like, "You guys must come to Jakarta and join our huge, massive vegan festival over there. You know, that's the one that they really put a lot of effort and they are most proud of. You see, like the number of partnerships that they have, yeah. And I think Dr. Susianto has worked hard on this vegan movement for the past 30 over years. Yeah, and you know, he's forged a lot of great connections. Yeah, so he has this saying that I don't need everybody to become vegan, but I want everyone to accept veganism. Yeah, so it's like he really has a big heart, like Master, and the way he promote this movement is really I think it's really suitable for the Asian context lah, because it's really about, like, as you can see, it's about a lot of fun, a lot of like joy. You see all the dancing, all the performances, and all the food, you know, so people really get the idea that, hey, this vegan thing is not like, you know, so hardcore, you're trying to convert me kind of thing. It's just like another way of living. And even if you are not a vegan, you know, you don't really have anything against it, and you can accept it in a way that is just the way some people choose to live. And a lot of the speakers, you know, the athletes, the healthcare professionals and all, plus the performances, they are all vegans lah. Yeah. So somehow over in Jakarta, there are like so many vegans, that they managed to inspire. Yeah. So I think through this like more soft and more palatable approach lah. Yeah, a lot of people are able to accept that actually there is an alternative way lah of living our life. Yeah. Okay, so just want to share like what exactly is International Vegan Festival as organized by World Vegan Organization lah. So basically it's from what I observe and from what I learned, it's actually like a place where you just attract all the international vegan activists. They can be like leaders, practitioners, entrepreneurs, healthcare workers, and all, and the general public. Basically, is to advocate like health, sustainability, and of course animal welfare. Okay, so yes, so this is Dr. Susianto Seng. Yeah, so he's actually a professor in nutrition, and he has this quote lah, on the website that I just want to share. So veganism isn't just about what we eat; it's actually a commitment to a healthier planet and a better life for all. So even small individual choices, when adopted collectively, can create massive positive change for the earth and humanity. Yeah, so with this faith, right, and this mission, yeah, he has collaborated with many organizations and many institutions and all, including Tzu Chi. Yeah, so he's given talk in like Taiwan Tzu Chi hospitals. He said he basically can work with anyone, any organization who is has the same mission, who is keen to promote veganism. Yeah. So so as for WVO, right, I think like after so many years working in Indonesia, it's been a really successful movement. So so Dr. Susianto has founded this World Vegan Organization and really moved on to try to drive this thing globally. So it's actually to support and inspire global vegan activists through vegan outreach programs and awareness projects. So it can be honestly anything that promotes veganism. Okay, yeah. So can be conferences, festivals, events, meetups, get together, education and anything lah. Yeah. So I think the great thing about WVO is that its mission is very clear. Yeah, it's really the whole purpose of its existence is really to promote veganism lah. Yeah, which is also very aligned with what Master wants to do. All right, yeah. So like this photo was taken last year at the also Jakarta. They held it in their vegan school lah. Yeah, so you can see the team of people from Jakarta, and some of us also came in from all over the world. Yeah, including Taiwan, Singapore, even Germany, yeah, to support this event. Yeah, and also actually mainly to learn from them lah. Yeah, because they are such a very vibrant and also pretty youthful group lah. Yeah, and I would say that they're kind of their spirit is very similar to Tzu Chi. Yeah, where they really treat everybody as like one big family. Yeah, so it's really like when you are with people, the with a common mission, really like when we go for Tzu Chi activities, right? It's really like very what do you call that? Like it really empowers you lah. Yeah, and it really inspires you. So so I think this is something that a lot of us, we might not have this kind of group support lah. Yeah, I mean for me actually, I turned vegetarian on my own, so I didn't really know anyone around me who are like vegetarians, and my family is not. Yeah, so basically bringing people together has this kind of it just helps how to say, yeah, like our faith gets stronger lah. Yeah, and then we are like more certain that this is the right path, and we also feel inspired, like, hey, people are doing so much, to promote this concept, yeah, to others. Okay, so yeah, so I think they've been really very successful in Indonesia, in promoting this plant-based lifestyle. So yeah, it's again, it's not just a celebration, it's a platform to raise awareness and ignite real action for a better future. And I think the first step is really to let people accept it, rather than have this uh I think sometimes when people hear veganism, then they just turn away lah, yeah, because I think in maybe there's some bad rap about veganism from the past experiences where sometimes we are a bit too enthusiastic or too evangelistic lah when it comes to promoting this movement. Yeah, so I think in the center you see like the Indonesian Minister of Tourism. Yeah, so they were having this event, and then he announced 1st October as Indonesia Vegan Day lah. Yeah, so it's really become very mainstream, and like for the vegan festival that we attended, the ministers actually come there to sing like the national anthem and all. Yeah, so it's been really recognized lah over there. Yeah, so after learning from their team and getting to know Dr. Susianto, I mean, uh in this sense, it's really very nice, because in Singapore, we are so new, right? We don't really know how to hold vegan festival. So he really encourage us and really give like zero stress. It's really just like, oh, whichever platform that we can, whichever step that we are at, just get started. Doesn't matter how many people come, doesn't matter how it's being held. So like a very open approach lah. Yeah, so of course, as a Tzu Chi volunteer, I approached Tzu Chi, and we have a really nice venue, the Humanistic Youth Center at Yishun. If some of you have been there, you know that it's a very big space. Yeah, and we have a very nice big hall. Yeah, so we thank CEO for giving us the green light to use this venue for free. Yeah, so we actually held it a one-day event on 19 April this year. Yeah. Okay, so we also collaborated with Kampong Senang, CRF, and all these like-minded organizations coming together to do the same thing with the same mission. Yeah, so some of the things that we try to bring in, of course, food and products to showcase that actually as a vegan is not like so sad. Yeah, there's actually a lot of things that you can eat, a lot of things that you can use. Yeah, and then also a lot of talks lah. I mean, like what Master say, it's not to give them the food, but really to educate people about it. Yeah, and also performances, make it lighthearted and fun, and yeah, things like lucky draw, coloring competition, all these things lah, anything that you can think of. Yeah, so yeah, so just like to bring you all over to our Facebook page. Basically it is yeah, because WVO is pretty like new in Singapore, so didn't really have much platform to promote. So we also very scared like nobody come. Yeah, but thankfully I think there are a lot of people who supported us. So like this is the for about 4 months lah, we try to promote all our different talks. As you can see, a coloring contest, yeah, and yeah, and some performances. Yeah, we have our a lot of them. I mean, basically everyone is just volunteers lah. We really just come here to support and help. Yeah, and like speakers flew in from like KL, Germany, Taiwan, and all. Yeah, and yeah, and through our effort, we are also surprised that we managed to find like 40 vendors. So again, it's like actually everybody also want to support the movement, and like when we approach all these vendors, actually a lot of them also don't know what this thing is about lah, because the other is our inaugural first time. Yeah, but they are really very nice. I mean, they are willing to trust us, and some of them even encourage us, so they put a lot of effort as well to come and join the event, and to support us. So we are very, very thankful. Yeah, so they also help to promote to their own customers, like, hey, got this event. Yeah, ask everybody come. So we also I mean I think through this we also it's like a win-win thing lah, we hope. So we want to feature all our vendors. We want to also let a lot of people know that actually there are so many plant-based choices in Singapore, be it like products or food yeah, this is the lineup of speakers. Yeah, so we want also people to know that actually the whole vegan scene is very vibrant. Yeah, and it's really there are a lot of great brands and products, and some are like organizations like, yeah, so these are performances. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I think we got to know a lot of like made a lot of friends yeah through this event as well lah. Yeah, and the whole dynamics was like a very nice build up. Yeah. And yeah, and you saw in the video just now they had like blood donation event during the vegan festival. So I think it's really not just about food, like what Dr. Susianto say. It's like about kindness, about health. Yeah, anyone who is willing to, even if like you're not a vegan, you're welcome. Yeah, as long as whatever that you showcase or sell during the vegan festival is vegan lah. Yeah, okay, so like just show like this is our youth center, humanistic youth center layout. Yeah, so we really end up we got so many like stalls that we got not enough tables for everybody already. Yeah, it's really like and we had to squeeze in like the space lah. Yeah, so I think it's uh kind of unexpected lah. Yeah, response from all these vendors and supporters and performer speakers and all. Yeah, so again it's like what master also started off with nothing, but it's really through our sincerity and we find like-minded people. We discover like-minded people who really all come together, and because we have like some restrictions lah, later I'll show some photos that we really cannot we cannot cook lah, we cannot handle food. Yeah, so in this sense, like we really thank our vendors so that they really help to prepare everything. Yeah, to really like kind of help us in many ways lah, to so that we can actually yeah, in Singapore be like law abiding and like make sure that we follow all the rules and regulations. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, just some photos like okay, we can start off with this yeah, this coloring, actually this coloring contest also like wow, beyond our expectations. Yeah, actually a lot of families they actually brought their kids because we put it like quite early lah. Yeah, and then yeah, so you can see like children from different races also, and yeah, they might not be vegans lah, but they come and then they color this my vegan plate. Yeah, so it's really very cute lah. Yeah, to see that all these families, yeah, they actually can accept this concept lah. To them it's like really just bring their kid, for fun. And then through this you also hope to have like let the children have this concept lah, so that they can learn. And then yeah, so performances as well. Like our Tzu Chi volunteers, they are so sweet. Like they actually did the Jia Cai the song. Yeah, they did a sign language, and then they also like doll themselves up in all these cute little costumes, veggie and fruits costume. Yeah, so a lot of people put in like a lot of effort beyond our imagination. I really thank them. Yeah, so like magic singing yeah, hula hoop dance also like everything lah. Yeah, and all this mind over body kind of demonstration, tai chi. Yeah, and like dance. These are some of the performances that we had in the Great Hall. Yeah, and I think they are quite well liked lah. Yeah, we really enjoy. Okay, and yeah. So these the vendors lah. Yeah, so as you can see, yeah, I think we really I mean, we got like actually no budget lah, so we really couldn't provide them with anything other than like a table and chair and maybe a PowerPoint for you to plug in. Yeah, so really like they actually all these vendor really move all their products and their shelf and their like all this a chiller, everything, Yeah, so really amazing lah. Like really thank them for all the effort lah. Yeah, that they also try their best to showcase. Yeah, so actually there was quite a crowd lah, I must say. Yeah, and I think even a lot of brands are honestly I myself also don't know. Yeah, so it's actually very educational, like for us, like actually so many people promoting this plant-based, in Singapore and selling all these things. Yeah. Yeah, so we're really very thankful. And our speakers lah. So these are this opening, like we have the Kampong Senang, Tzu Chi and all. Yeah, then this Dr. Susianto giving a talk. Yeah, Dr. Charles and this professor, from Food Technology in Singapore University, Dr. Ho Chin. Yeah, TCM as well, Lin Lifang 医师. Yeah, you're all here. And then this like a vegan athlete, bodybuilder. Yeah, and then we had performances, our Tui Su songs and all. Yeah, all right. And and of course, actually a lot of background effort lah, as you all know lah, how we all 慈济 volunteers. So we know that, so we need a lot of we thank the volunteers lah, for helping, Everyone is just here to volunteer their time. Yeah, I really appreciate that. Okay. Yeah, so I think we have a video about the festival lah.
This is my fight song. Take back my life song. Prove I'm alright song. My power's turned up. Starting right now, I'll be strong. I'll play my fight song. And I don't really care if nobody else believes. 'Cause I still got a lot of fight left in me. Like a small boat on the ocean, sending big waves into motion. Like how a single word can make a heart open. I might only have one match, but I can make an explosion. This is my fight song. Take back my life song. Prove I'm alright song. My power's turned up. Starting right now, I'll be strong. I'll play my fight song. And I don't really care if nobody else believes. 'Cause I've still got a lot of fight left in me. No, I've still got a lot of fight left in me.
Okay. Yeah, so those of you who do events, right? Actually, we didn't manage to capture a lot. We didn't manage to capture a lot of things because we don't really have videographer. So a lot of the all this video from actually from our recording lah, from the main. Yeah, so I think there are a lot of room for improvement also, but we just really make do. Yeah, whatever we can lah. Yeah. Okay, but anyway, so it's nowhere compared to Jakarta, but at least we started lah. Yeah, huh? So just want to share like the future vegan festivals. Yeah, in the PPT, you can see like so we are the 18th one that WVO has held, and then they have a lot of vegan festivals lined up for this year lah. Yeah, so this is one of the main strategy that WU has in promoting veganism all over the world. So like the 19th one was held at Indonesia, and the 20th was actually at JB. Yeah, so it's by WVO Malaysia, which we also attended. Yeah, it's at a Palm Resort. And so yeah, thankful that Food Pharmacy, Tzu Chi Food Pharmacy had a stall. Yeah, so we actually went there to promote our food pharmacy, and actually they had a charity dinner, and Tzu Chi was one of the beneficiaries lah. Yeah, one of the charity that benefited from this. And also the 21st one was actually held at a mall again in Indonesia. Okay, so the 22nd I just want to feature a bit. We just came back from Dali. Yeah, so it's actually the first time that it was held at Dali, and it's this really, really beautiful place called Shufangzhou. Yeah. So I just want to share this video lah, okay, that y'all can. It's really a very nice space that they have. I mean, Dali is part of Yunnan lah, so it's really very pretty place. And then you actually see, there's so touch to see like all these plant-based activists from all over China, and of course we are the international delegates lah. Yeah, to converge at Yunnan, to really share and to really celebrate, yeah, and have fun together. Yeah, so I think actually the vegan movement in China was also really gaining strength, and a lot of great supporters lah. Yeah, so all this, they actually have a lot of Wang Hong, like KOLs, influencers lah, yeah, basically, yeah, to come. So I think like one reason why you want to do so much work on the social media, like really because the event is only like a one-off, but it's really like for people who are unable to be there physically, yeah, it's also we want to through this virtual space to share more lah. Yeah, so I think in this sense the China team they really do this very well. In fact, they had live streaming of the whole 3-day event. Yeah, and also for anyone in any corner of the world, yeah, you just have to join. You can just join like virtually. So really very, very nice, as you can see from the video. Yeah, that yeah, quite a big. They had 80 stalls, like yeah. So and 4 from Malaysia. Actually, they flew in, yeah, for this event as well, lah. Yeah. So okay, so this the yeah. So over there we also met like Xu Jia 博士, if you all know. He's like the Colin Campbell in China. Yeah, because he's also a PCRM, and he wrote this 非药而愈 book that was really promote whole plant-based. Yeah. And then I also shared about our Singapore 21-day challenge. And yeah, this is actually a very inspiring 书法家 Ma Zuo 老师. Yeah, so he actually went around China, I think for the past 10 years, to promote veganism through calligraphy, because that's his forte. Yeah, and a lot of inspiring stories are very, very touching. Yeah, I didn't no time for this video. Just want to share the future ones. Okay, just quick 5 minutes. So the next one will be held in Singapore and JB again. So it will be held on 1st August, and we thank Nirvana for giving us a very nice space. Yeah. So again, talks and programs, cooking demo and stuff. Yeah, and the 24th one will be held at Shanghai on 26th August. Yeah, and 27th, I mean in between, Jakarta and all, Indonesia got a lot of festival. Okay, so if you happen to be in Taiwan in October, please join the International Vegan Festival at Hsinchu. Yeah, and then lastly, yeah, for more information, follow us on Facebook lah, because we hope to have more programs, and yeah, really hope that more countries and more places can join in to hold this vegan festival. It's really not as difficult as we think lah, yeah, and also yeah, and also virtually, yeah, if we can all like and share and let more people know that actually this whole plant-based movement is gaining strength, and there are a lot of people who are plant-based, it's really very mainstream, it's really very fun and all. Yeah, so I think this is the concept that we are trying to share here.感恩 everybody. Thank you.
Sister Xinqing, I'm really so pleasantly surprised by your presentation, because I was going like from vegetarianism, we are going to veganism, and after that, is there anything left for us to eat? It's a pretty heavy subject when we think about veganism generally, right? But I think that The way that the festival is organized is just so amazing because it is totally dismantling the fact that you never, it's not judgmental. No, we don't say that you shouldn't eat this, you shouldn't eat that, it's bad for your health. We just concentrate on what is lovely, a diet, that it can be delicious and that it is sustainable, it is good for everybody's health, including our Mother Earth's health. Am I right? So, and it is so young. Do you agree with me? Everybody over 30 in this audience, it lifts the spirit, and it makes us feel like it is not heavy, and it is something so fun, isn't it? The psychological way of presenting this is amazing to me. Well done, Jakarta. Well done, Ching Ching. And and it is really very, very wonderful to see that, this is the way to go for the younger generation, which is so different actually from our generation. Yeah. Yeah. A big clap for you. Go, 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 right? Yes. So we will have more news about such things from you in the future then, Sister Xing Qing, yeah?
Definitely. Thank you so much for the encouragement.
Yes, that's right. We are very upbeat now, You've got us into a very upbeat mood. Yes, good for you. Good for all of us. Thank you very much for today's session. Yeah? All right.
Sister Moon, may I add something?
Yes.
Stephanie here. Sister Xing, wonderful. We're great rejoicing, and we look forward for this vegan festival here in Kuala Lumpur. Okay?
Yes, yes.
Me too. I look forward to.
It's so amazing. Yes,
amazing,
that's the way to go.
It's amazing, huh?
Yes, yes. I think it's really become like a lifestyle. Okay, it's a
Yeah,
lifestyle.
correct.
It's not
And
a
I can see.
movement, it's a lifestyle.
And the wonderful thing is that the young people are embracing it in a very natural way,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's really breaking a lot of what we call in Buddhism, Brother Chin always say the incrustations of our views and our minds. So once we have that breakthrough, and this is the way we can live.
Yes. Yeah.
There's so much, Sister Xing Qing, Kan Ern, to see Singapore, and Dr. Susianto, of course, Kan Ern.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Does anybody want to say anything about this subject? If not, we will move on to Brother Johan. I think Brother Johan, of course, is no stranger to our session, to our platform here. Good morning, Brother Johan. I think that can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear us.
Okay. Yeah.
Good morning,
I think,
sister.
yeah, Brother Johan, you have been volunteering in City since 2008. Am I right? Yes.
Yep,
And
that's
now
right.
you are active in the Global Partnership Affairs Department.
Yes.
Okay. So perhaps today you can bring us up to date to some of your the current project that you are doing. And I believe that the empowering rural communities in Sierra Leone is one such current project. Is that right?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay.
Hi, everyone. So
Welcome.
good to see you all. Thank you so much for the warm welcome. It's really great to be here again. I think it's been about a year since I joined last time. And I think about a year ago, I also talked about Sierra Leone. So this time I would like to focus on our agriculture project in Sierra Leone, so you can learn a little bit more about that. So for those of you who didn't hear my previous talk, or maybe it's been a little while, so not everybody might remember all the details about our work in Sierra Leone. We actually came to Sierra Leone because of the Ebola epidemic, 2014 to 2016. Which was very devastating for the country. A lot of fear, a lot of illness, a lot of deaths, and also the entire country was shut down. So it had a very severe impact on the economy and society as well. So the Ebola epidemic, together with the with the civil war that ended about 10 years earlier than that, are the main reasons why Sierra Leone is still so far down on the development index. So in 2015, actually early in 2015, we started to work with 3 other organizations: Caritas Freetown, Lani Foundation, and Hualien International Relief Foundation, to provide relief for the Ebola affected Sierra Leone. So we sent instant rice, nutrition support, foldable beds, and medical equipment so that they would have something to sleep on in their makeshift hospitals for the Ebola survivors. So it was really a pretty big effort from Tzu back then. But that wasn't the end of it. The following year in 2016, which was also the end of the Ebola epidemic, we actually started doing food relief to Taiwan. So we shipped 200 tons of rice from Taiwan, and also shoes and clothing. And these rice distributions have been ongoing all the way until now. So in 2026, we are still providing rice, some from Taiwan and now mainly locally purchased rice. And this rice is to support the Ebola survivors, as well as other institutions and such as orphanages, schools, hospitals, elder homes, and so on, and also other vulnerable communities. For example, people with war injuries, amputees, people living with disabilities, the polio community, and so on. In 2020, we continued. So these are just some snapshots. And in 2022 was a big milestone for us when we actually hired our first local staff, full-time staff, Margaret Bassi. So this year we actually have a total of 4 local staff, including Margaret, and we also have Sabina and John and Mohammed. So we actually have 4 local staff now in Sierra Leone, and the number of and breadth of programs keeps growing in Sierra Leone because there is so much that needs to be done. I'm sorry, I think somebody is unmuted, so if you could just mute, that would be great. Thank you. Okay, so a little bit about the agriculture program. So actually what we've been doing ever since 2016 is this annual rice distribution for Ebola survivors. So as you can see, this is a map of Sierra Leone, and you can see that we're actually covering the entirety of Sierra Leone, all the way from Freetown in the west, all the way to Koindu in the east, right on the border with Liberia, all the way down to Pujehun in the very south, and all the way north. So we're actually covering the entire Sierra Leone, and we have been distributing rice to all Ebola survivors, about 4,000 Ebola survivors, as well as Ebola orphans and widows, ever since 2016, every single year. And when in 2024 we worked with a professor from Sierra Leone University, and to do an impact survey. And we saw that the effects of this relief, it's not just to bring a sense of food security, but we actually have seen improvements in education and health due to the money that they've been able to save on rice. They've been able to use it for education for the children, health interventions for themselves. And something that's really amazing is that it turns out that by providing this rice, we've actually helped increase the social standing of these Ebola survivors, which is quite amazing. So actually, the Ebola survivors were feared in their community. A lot of people would reject them because the entire illness of Ebola was so scary for the people in Sierra Leone, as you can imagine. So people who survived, there was this sense that they were not welcome in the community. But after we started providing this rice and continuously visit these Ebola survivors for over 11 years now, these Ebola survivors, they have actually increased the social standing, and many of them are now important voices in their communities. So since 2023, actually, we started doing local rice purchase. And in 2025, we purchased 500 tons. So in February 2025, it was the first time in 6 years that we actually visited Sierra Leone. And during that trip, we visited the community that is providing this rice. So it's a women-led farming community, about 450 farmers, about 2/3 are women. And we visited their land, which is over 1,000 hectares.
This is what
You can
500
see,
acres look like. All
you
of
can
these
see how
trees over
huge
there,
this is, this land. So this is actually
all the way to the
500
trees over there.
hectares
This
that we're
is a
seeing here, and
very
they
huge
had
land.
1,000 hectares. So there are 2 such lands where they're producing their rice. And Tiji was actually, we were one of their first large-scale customers. So after we purchased rice from them, also the WFO has been purchasing rice from them afterwards. So this has been really important for them to secure their income by having large-scale purchases. They don't need to worry about small-scale sales, provide confidence, help them make additional investments, to help them improve the situation for their family, education for the children, and also improve their community. This is a little video. Let me see if I can turn on the sound. Yeah. You can see here. You can see them here, how they are showing through singing and dancing, they're showing how they have grown and developed as a community. So you might have been able to catch that. Oh, now we're planting, and we used to have to do this by hand, but now we have a tractor. So they're able to do this work much easier and keep increasing the production. So visiting this community in 2025 was a huge, it was very empowering for us. So we saw that if the community they have this will, they're actually able to improve their own status. So you can see the home of this chairwoman. So they were saying that they used to have thatched homes. Now they all have the sheet metal roofs for their homes, and they've been able to improve their lives in so many ways. So remember these communities all throughout Sierra Leone that we have been providing rice to. So during our trip in 2025, so this was 1.5 years ago, we visited a number of the communities that we've been assisting and asked the communities, how can we keep supporting you? Because we know that we don't want to just support through providing food all the time. We want these communities to have an opportunity to stand on their own feet, and we want to see a possibility of phasing out the support from outside. So we asked the communities, how can we help? And every single community, they had been thinking about this, and they all said, thank you so much for the relief. Please don't stop. We really need it. But if you could also help us. So we had some communities that asked for skills development, some that asked for agriculture support, capacity building. So we could see that there was this real wish to go from what we call in Tzu, we say from palms up to palms down, meaning from receivers to givers. So after discussion, once we came back, we discussed with our local team, and we selected 2 locations in Bo, that's right in the center, this little yellow growth there right in the center, little sprout in the center of Sierra Leone, and one in Gendema, which is all the way to the south, the southernmost point of Sierra Leone. So we decided to work with these two communities, partially because they were ready. They had an organization already, so they would be able to quickly get started. And they had land. They had so the land in Sierra Leone, it belongs to the tribe. So basically, as long as your the chief, the supreme chief, is willing to assist, then they can use the land. And these two locations, they have different types of lands. So in Jiring village in Gendema at the very south, they have Boli land, which is a name for the soil. It's very, very fertile soil, which is basically half the year it's dry and half the year it's swampy. Because in Sierra Leone you have a rainy season for 6 months, and then you have a dry season for 6 months. And then in Farbo village, they had swampland. So this is year-round swamp, which is also very suitable for planting rice. And what we did was rather than telling them what to do, we told them, okay, we have a maximum limit of $5,000, so a very small amount. And we asked them to prepare their own budget so that they could get what they needed for their farming. So they both asked for the same things. So actually they had very similar budgets. So they asked for seeds, including rice seeds and also vegetable seeds that they could grow during the dry season, tools, food, and training. These were the things that they asked for. So the food is so that when they go to work in the fields, they have something to eat to bring back to home. And so then throughout last year in 2025, our staff would go to visit. We worked with the locals, engaged with the community, and we can see this is the rice in June here. They already had the rice coming out. And we also provided agricultural training. So it was led by the farm manager for Caritas Freetown, one of our close collaboration partners, Mr. Joshua Conte. And so he would teach them about land preparation, seed selection, crop management, harvesting, and also about post-harvest treatments. And he did it really nicely. So he would have 2 days for each community, 1 day in the classroom when he would teach them and show them slides. And then the second day was out in the fields, so he could actually show them through practical work. So this is the advantage of having the farm manager rather than some professor go and do this, because he has been doing this work for so many years and he knows how to work the land. In October 2025, the happiest moment when the harvest was done, and we had very good harvest for Jiring village close to Gendema. So when we went this time, this year in January 2026, so a year later we visited, so Jiring village, they proudly displayed their 188 bags of harvested rice. They were so happy. And what we said was that we are willing to purchase the rice, and then we will use this rice and donate it to orphanages. And you can keep some percentage, so 40, they chose to keep 40% for seeds, and then we purchase the rest so that they would reduce the funds needed to purchase seeds for the next year. So this is very, very encouraging, big success for this program. So in 2026, when we visited, we decided on 2 new locations. So one is in Makeni and one is in Lungi. So this is when we visited and they showed us the land. They greeted us very, very warmly and both said that they would give everything to be part of this program. So just to give you an idea of where these different locations are. So our office in Sidi in Sierra Leone is in Freetown. So it's in the far west, right on the western end of Sierra Leone. And then our two existing locations, that's Forbo Village in Bo, in the center of Sierra Leone, and then Jiring Village in the south. And the new locations, one is very close to our Freetown office. So actually, if you take the ferry over, it's just about 45 minutes by ferry, and then maybe half an hour drive. So it's actually a very convenient location for them to sell their rice to Freetown. But if you have to drive, then it's about 3 hour drive. So you have to go around the bay to drive for about 3 hours. Then the second location is Makeni, which is in the northern province, further east, about 3.5 hours from Freetown. And then Forbo Village and Jiring Village are in the center and south, both in the south province of Sierra Leone. So this is numbers from May of 2026. So we can see that all these 4 locations, actually 5 communities, I'll talk a little bit more about that in a bit. They had been purchasing seeds and they had started to sow the seeds. They had prepared the land preparation, and they had quite a few villagers involved in this work. So for the land preparation, it was mainly in most places, it was mainly men working because it's very hard work. But later on, there will be many more women joining the program as well. So these are drone shots from these 4 locations. So this is Lungi, the one closest to Freetown. So this is the land that we can see. This is the swampland, actually, just like Forbo. So they have swampland, and right in the picture we can see here they're growing vegetables, but a little bit further down they will be growing rice. So in May of this year, our staff visited, and they have been doing the land clearing. So you can see that it's clear from bushes and so on, but they still hadn't started the planting yet. Makeni, so that's the location further to the east. This is from our visit. So they live up to the left there, and the land that they have, I think, okay, that's unfortunately it doesn't show higher up, but that's the land to the left of the current. So that's the land that you see over there. So this land is all available for rice production, and this is also bole land, so the very, very fertile soil, seasonal swampland. So Makeni did something really remarkable. Remember, I said that each community they asked for, so they plan to use the funds for seeds, tools, food, and training. So what was really special with Makeni is they decided to take their entire food budget and use it to rent a tractor. So this would increase the efficiency and speed for them to till the land compared with just doing it manually. So they were able to get much larger space than Lungi, which is also a new participant in our program. Well, Lungi was doing this by hand. Makeni decided to rent a tractor to do it. So they were able to till 19 hectares, which is a huge amount of land. So when we visited in May, this is what it looked like. Very beautiful. And here's the till land to the bottom right. And then our team also visited Forbo Village and Jiring Village. So Forbo Village, this is from when we went, actually. If you look in Google Maps, it says that it will take 33 minutes to go from Bo, the closest town, down to Forbo Village, which is at the B here in this Google Maps screenshot. It says 33 minutes, but it's not 33 minutes. So this is what the road looks like. You see, the road is absolutely terrible. And it's it's like going in a river ravine. Once you get off the big roads, the main roads, this is what the roads look like in Sierra Leone. So when it says 30 minutes, that's not nearly correct. So once we finally got to Farbo, so Farbo is in B here in the map to the left. So Farbo is here, that's the village. And then the fields are over to the right. So it's about 1 kilometer walk. So when we visited in January, then we walked this stretch, and we walked together with the farmers, the ladies, and listened to them singing as they walk. It was so cute. Yeah, so they have this very joyful spirit for sure, and they also set up a signpost to show how much they appreciate this intervention that we are doing continuously for them. So this is the land. It's very beautiful, not as big as the other lands that we were showing before, but it's definitely big enough if they do well for the harvesting, for the farming. And we can see at the very bottom left, you can see us there during this visit. So that was from back in January. Unfortunately, the 2025 harvest failed, and this was due to some miscommunication with the project manager. That's not from our team, from a different organization. So they only got 18 bags, so only a tenth of the harvest at Juring Village, just mentioned. So this year they have decided to work even harder, like much harder. So they are very, very dedicated to this program, and they really wish to show us that they are worthy of being part of this program. And we can hear they also, when they work, they also, let me reduce the volume a little bit. When they work, they also sing, and they actually bring speakers out to help encourage themselves when they work. So we can see they are working so hard. So this is during the visit in May. The rice was already coming up, and they've been probably working the hardest of all these different locations. Sorry. Okay, so the last location, it's in the far south. This is close to Jandama. So it's the Juring and Latu villages. The Juring village is on the lake of this river. It's a very broad river, and Latu is on the other side. And the project land is on the Latu side of the river. So if you go to visit in Juring, they also have a signpost. So this one is by the main road actually, and the arrow here shows the direction to Juring village and to the project. So if you want to cross over from Juring village to the farmland, you actually have to take this tiny little boat, and the boatsman, he has provided his services for free. So for these farmers, so the farmers just need to pay for fuel, and he doesn't charge them to go back and forth across the river. This is to the right. You can see our team, Sky TV there, and Sister Deborah, Sister Margaret, and when we visited, you see in the middle, that's the chief, the supreme chief of this whole area. And when they visited, they had prepared these clothing for us that were like chief's clothing. So that's how much they wanted to show that their reverence and their gratitude to us when we came to visit. So they were very cute, really, really awesome. So here you can see the land. It's a huge, huge land. So that's Latu village, closest to us. And then that's the land that you see. very, very big. So this one is also seasonal swampland. So during the dry season, it's dry. During the wet season, it becomes swamp. It's very fertile and perfect for rice production. And to the far on the other side of the shore there, you can maybe make out During village. So in May, when our team visited, they are also using a tractor. So we're actually assisting them with some funds for the tractor, and most of the cost for the tractor, they paid for it through the sales when we purchased the rice from them last year. So with this tractor, they're able to till a much larger stretch of land. So they have about 40 hectares. So it's a huge piece of land. And this year they're planning to plant 100 bushels of rice. So we're expecting a very large harvest. And we're expecting that basically after this year, they should be more or less self-sustainable and be able to make continuous income from their rice and be able to also contribute to the development of their village by, for example, themselves building things like toilets, sanitation, improve the water situation, and start to really get a boost to their whole community. So this is During village, our most successful so far, and we are definitely wishing them all the best, that they will be able to really accomplish what they're hoping for. They have very big plans. Then remember the village to the closest to us over here, on this side of the river, from the drone shot, that is Latu village. So Latu village is also part of the program, but a separate group. So Latu village is supported by our Eastern Freetown volunteers. So we have 3 volunteer groups in Freetown. Unfortunately, I have so little time. I don't have time to share with you about these volunteer groups right now. But the Eastern Freetown volunteers, their main program is to support these farmers all the way to the south in Sierra Leone. So they have been going to visit. They're working with the farmers. They're helping them with some funding, and they're also helping them to actually do land clearing and tilling. They do this themselves. So this is done by hand. And they have been able to encourage so many of the farmers in Latu village and also several other neighboring villages to join this program. And so they're working together with the people from During village. So they are using some of the seed rice for Latu village as well. So the current status for our program is that all the 4 locations with all the 5 groups. So in the very south, we have both During village and Latu village, these 2 groups. They have all finished land preparation and the planting in time with the rainy season. So you need to plant at the right time when the rains start, and then the rice will grow very quickly. So now it's the time for weeding. And weeding is very, very hard work. So there will be very long and hard work hours for the participants of the program. So to help them, what they asked for is that the work is so hard, so they will have a lot of pains in their backs and in their bodies. So they asked if we can provide some extra funds for medicines, especially ointments. So we are providing that, and also some funds for additional food, and we're also providing some additional rice to support them, so that they will have food to eat while they work in the fields and working for their own future. So we'll have a visit by the team next week, and after that, we'll see even better how this program is going right now. So that's my presentation for this time. Thank you so much for listening, and very grateful again to be here. And I'm hoping to provide more updates in the future, maybe next year, when we see how these 4 villages have been doing this time for the program. Thank you so much, everyone.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Brother Johan. You know, these news about Ebola, they strike such fear in our hearts. But then most of us are just able to, watch it from the news. We feel helpless and we don't know how to help directly. Yeah. But it's very uplifting for us to hear from Brother Johan that Tzu Chi actually goes in amidst the crowd, the Ebola survivors, the rural community where it strikes most, I think, right? And to help them to overcome these challenges and to uplift their lives. And the manner it's done is so effective and structured. I mean, we can see that it is so effective and structured because then the results that come out from it, right? Every time you give us a briefing on this, it's the next step and the next step and the next step, and it's really amazing. And I think we are, all of us here, we will take lessons away from this sharing, that when we implement programs or when we carry out projects in Tzu Chi, for example, a lot of thought really have to be put into thinking how to get the best results out of the project that we want to start. So thank you very much, Brother Johan, for sharing. This won't be your last sharing with us because we are so interested to know what happened to the African brothers and sisters over there, and they are making such amazing progress, aren't they? Yeah. All right. Okay. So thank you very much, Brother Johan. Is there anybody who would like to ask Brother Johan for something before we leave? Right. If not, then I will end this session with a very good morning to everybody again, and I wish you all a happy and productive weekend. Bye-bye. No, so, okay. I'm so sorry. Yes, I forgot, Sister Stephanie, to invite all of you to join me in putting our hands together to pay homage to the Triple Gem. May we offer the first bow, a second bow, and a third bow. And a bow to our beloved Tzu Chi Abode Masters. Okay. Every morning, every morning.
So much,
Happy
Brother
morning,
Johan.
everyone.
Yeah, for the very, very inspiring and heartfelt sharing. It's really, really very, very inspiring to see the transformation. Thank so much. Thank so much, Sister Moon, for the wonderful hosting.
Thank you for your company, everybody.
For the powerful session,